Thank you for joining us, and it's time for our news bulletin right here on Luntha Television. And you're with me, Patrick Pupa. But first, the headlines. Pope Leo XIV urges Catholics and the Anglicans to strengthen unity in proclaiming Christ. Human Rights Defenders Coalition HRDC Chairperson Michael Kayatsa defends HRDC leadership as ad hoc committee challenges authority in court. Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority MERA introduces police presence at filling stations to restore order during fuel shortages. In international news, Mali Defense Minister Sadio Kamara killed in suicide bombing amid nationwide wave of rebel attacks. And those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. Pope Leo XIV has encouraged Catholics and Anglicans to continue working together to overcome differences, stressing the importance of proclaiming Christ to the world with united witness. The Holy Father made the remarks at the Apostolic Palace during an audience with the Archbishop of Canterbury, the Most Reverend and Right Honorable Sarah Marare. We have a Vatican News report read by Falis Kizombe.
Welcoming the Archbishop during the Easter season, the Pope expressed his joy at the encounter, recalling the historic meeting between Pope Paul VI and Michael Lamze 6 years ago, which marked a significant step in relations between the two traditions. He also voiced appreciation for the work of the Anglican Center in Rome, greeting its director Bishop Anthony Bow, who represents the Archbishop of Canterbury to the Holy See. Sharing his Easter greeting of peace, Pope Leo XIV noted that the peace of the risen Lord is unarmed, explaining that Christ responded to violence and aggression without force, inviting his followers to do the same. Reflecting on Christian unity, the Holy Father said divisions among believers weaken their ability to effectively bear witness to Christ's peace in the world. He stressed that Christians must remain constant in prayer and committed to removing obstacles that hinder the proclamation of the gospel. The Pope also recalled decades of theological dialogue between the Catholic Church and the Anglican Communion, noting that while the journey toward full communion in faith and sacramental life remains complex, it has borne important fruit on historically divisive issues. Despite ongoing challenges, he emphasized that these difficulties should not prevent Christians from taking every opportunity to proclaim Christ together. Quoting Pope Francis, he warned that it would be a scandal if divisions stopped Christians from fulfilling their common mission. Pope Leo XIV added that it would also be a scandal if efforts to overcome differences were abandoned, no matter how difficult those differences may seem. He concluded by thanking Archbishop Mulali for her visit and expressed his hope that Anglicans and Catholics will continue journeying together in friendship and dialogue guided by the Holy Spirit.
Auxiliary Bishop for Lilongwe Archdiocese, His Lordship Vincent Mokwawa, has described the first week of the Synod Assembly of the Archdiocese as both productive and inspiring, noting that delegates have made meaningful progress towards establishing strong and sustainable structures for the growth of the Archdiocese. He made the remarks during Holy Mass marking the opening of the second week of the Synod Assembly at St. Kizito Chigoneka Parish. We have a report read by Charute Chiranga.
In his remarks, Bishop Makwao emphasized that the synod is more than just a meeting, describing it as a sacred period of reflection, listening, and shared responsibility. He highlighted that the synod remains focused on building effective pastoral, administrative, and developmental structures that will enable the church to better respond to the spiritual and social needs of its members.
Impressive because first of all could see indeed the Holy Spirit working within us and also guiding us. We could see this through, first of all, the man of discussions. People were very enthusiastic to share openly what they observed and also to confirm issues that were already raised by members of the church in the discussion in the small Christian communities.
Dr. Mary Shawa from the region of Mary praised the delegates for their dedication and active participation, thanking them for their sacrifices and urging them to remain focused and contribute honestly as the synod moves into its final phase.
It went very well. The delegates concentrated. All of us were available. We discussed important issues concerning the church and how different arms of the church would work together to improve the situation in the synod. So you can see we have sisters, brothers, fathers, and I'm representing the region of Mary.
Adding the voice of the youth, Theophista Kalimba from St. Andrew's Cargo Parish said the synod has given young Catholics a rare platform to feel held, expressing hope it will lead to greater youth involvement in leadership, evangelization, and community development.
First week of the Synod Assembly, it was very good, so much so that people were free, they were able to express themselves, and I feel like we are going to come up with something that is very concrete, that is going to make our church move forward.
The Synod Assembly, which began on April 20th, 2026, is expected to conclude on May 1st, 2026. It has brought together delegates from all 9 deaneries of the Archdiocese of Lilongwe.
The Balaka District Education and Sports Office has applauded the Catholic Church for its ongoing efforts to expand access to quality education across the district. District Education and Sports Officer Saulos Namani made the remarks over the weekend during a mass presided over by Bishop Montfort Sitima, which marked the official inauguration of Limido Boys Primary School. And
in his remarks, Namani noted that the Catholic Church has for a long time played a key role in providing quality education for both boys and girls, describing the new school as a significant milestone in promoting boys' education. He added that out of 168 schools in Balaka district, 80 are run by Catholic Church, highlighting the strong presence in the education sector.
Previously, there have been an outcry from the community, because you may recall very well that we have Bakita Private Primary and Bakita Private Secondary. So people have been complaining to say, why not at least a boys' school? So to us as Balaka, we are saying we really appreciate it, because again it will try to bridge the gap which has been there for a long time. It's high time now, at least we needed to consider supporting the boy child, because if we just concentrate on one gender, only the girl, we'll be creating a very big gap. In the near future, for the district to develop, for the nation to develop, we need to take on board both sexes, boys and girls.
Representing the Italian sponsors of the project, Joseph Limido expressed satisfaction that his parents' vision has finally been realized. He challenged learners at the school to take their education seriously, emphasizing that the future of Malawi lays in their hands.
My mother was a teacher, and my father every time told me that the most important thing in the life is education, and they worked a lot to give to me, to my brothers, education. So their dream was to give education to the needy people in Malawi and in other countries too. So we asked Father Gamba. He told me the Wisdom daughter have already a girl school, but the parents ask why not a school for a boy, for boys. So we decided to give a part of the earning of the money of our enterprise or the family for the building of this school.
Provincial Superior Sister Marriage Marizeni called for collaboration among stakeholders, noting that Limido Boys Primary School is their first project in the Catholic Diocese of Mangochi.
Yeah, we have been looking for the needs of Balaka, and we discovered that one of the need was the boys' primary school, because I think the girls are well catered for in so many girls' schools around, but the boys, I think, were somehow left aside. So since we wanted to come to Balaka to continue our education ministry, we thought of maybe starting with the boys' school so that we can reach out to the boys and offer the holistic education to them.
The event was attended by Member of Parliament for the area, John Jackson Bams, alongside the priests, sisters, and other invited guests. Daughters of Wisdom also manage several other learning institutions, including Our Lady Girls Secondary School in Blantyre, St. Mary's Girls, and Luntha Secondary School in Zomba. Reporting from Limido in Balaka, this is Andrew Nandolo.
Registrar General in the Ministry of Justice, Chikumbutso Namero, has urged stakeholders to support the review of Malawi's National Intellectual Property Policy. Speaking during a two-day National Stakeholders Consultation Workshop held in Lilongwe, Chikumbutso Namero said the process aims at gathering stakeholder input to guide the development of successor National Intellectual Property Policy. Gift Kalunga with the details.
Namelo says the ongoing review of the National Intellectual Property Policy is a key step in strengthening Malawi's innovation and development framework. Namelo adds that the consultations will help refine the successor policy by incorporating stakeholder views, ensuring it remains relevant to national priorities and supports effective implementation and long-term national growth.
We want to ensure that this policy, the successor policy, works effectively in sync as an enabler of the Malawi 2063.
World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, Representative Makrin Sibande, says Malawi has strong potential to benefit from intellectual property due to growing innovation in universities, industry, and emerging technology sectors. Byte Makren Siwande, WIPO representative. Humphrey Arnold Shumba says the review of national intellectual property is important in providing clear direction for innovation and strengthening manufacturing in Malawi.
I think there is progress. I mean, I would give an example that the way things were in 2019 are not the same in 2026 actually. And to have that shift from 2019 with the NIPS to 2026 now, it just shows that the policies that we are formulating now will suit the environment better, thereby enabling the existing or the upcoming innovators, in my case manufacturers, to be able to use that.
In her opening remarks, Solicitor General and Secretary for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Gertrude Hiwa, urged all stakeholders to make good use of the discussions for the country's growth and development. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Gift Kalonga.
Human Rights Defenders Coalition HRDC chairperson Michael Kayata has responded to claims by the HRDC ad hoc committee, maintaining that his leadership remains legitimate and in line with the organization's constitutions. This follows assertion by the ad hoc committee, led by Vice Chairperson Sammy Aaron, during a press briefing on Sunday, that they do not recognize Kayata's leadership and have since taken the matter to court. Bridget Manoka reports.
For an annual general meeting AGM, arguing that such a process is not provided for in the HRDC constitution. He was responding to sentiments expressed by the ad hoc committee, which questioned his authority to lead the coalition.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. We came here to update media houses about what has been happening. As you are aware, we have been conducting regional press briefings from Southern Region, Central Region, and finally we held our last press briefing in Zozo. So we were quite, because there were some activities that were taking place, negotiations to discuss the future of HRDC, but those discussions did not materialize. So we needed to come back and report to the media houses about the progress that has taken place since the last.
However, Kayata insists that any move to introduce an AGM would first require a constitutional amendment, a process he says cannot be rushed or driven by a few individuals. He has further accused the group of pushing an agenda that contradicts the coalition's governing framework, warning that such actions risk undermining the integrity of HRDC as a broad network of human rights defenders.
Our stand remains that the leadership of HRDC has not contravened any of the provisions in the constitution that established our organization. We are in custody of our constitution, and we know what the constitution says regarding leadership. And what these people are saying is quite contrary to what the constitution is saying, because we cannot do an AGM as they are proposing when such a process is not supported by our constitution. If they want an AGM where leadership is elected, then we need to amend our constitution first.
On allegations that he has been inaccessible for dialogue, Kayata has refuted the claims, stating that no formal communication has been made by the ad hoc committee. He adds that HRD offices remain open and accessible, insisting the group chose to go to the media instead of engaging him directly. Meanwhile, Kayata has welcomed the committee's decision to seek court intervention, saying the legal process will help clarify the interpretation of the HRDC constitution, particularly on issues of leadership and governance. Bridget Manoka, Luntha News.
The Tobacco Commission TC has intensified efforts to restore order in the country's troubled tobacco market, assuring growers that stakeholders' engagements are ongoing, with a comprehensive progress update expected before the end of the week. The assurance follows a high-level meeting with the tobacco growers' representatives held on Sunday in Lilongwe, where the Commission confirmed it has initiated discussions with key stakeholders, including tobacco buying companies and the Minister of Agriculture, Irrigation and Water Development. Alison Banda reports.
According to the Tobacco Commission spokesperson, Teleforas Chigwenembe, the meeting focused on identifying immediate and practical solutions to challenges affecting market performance, particularly low prices, the rejection of tobacco bills, and insufficiencies in trading processes. He emphasized the Commission's commitment to ensuring transparent, fair, and efficient marketing system, noting that continued consultations are critical to restoring confidence among growers and improving operations across all auction floors.
We are equally concerned with the high auction tobacco rejection rate. That is why we moved in quickly and started engaging different players on the issue. By Friday evening, we had already met tobacco buying companies and the Ministry of Agriculture. And yesterday, Sunday, we met grower representatives to explain to them the steps we are taking to find a lasting solution.
Meanwhile, agriculture expert Fanwe Nkonomvula has commended the Commission for engaging farmers, but urged tobacco buyers to factor in the rising cost of farm inputs and labor when setting prices.
The concerns over low tobacco pricing reflect the long-standing imbalances in agricultural marketing systems, where farmers often have limited the bargaining power and remain vulnerable to pricing and the buyer dominance. And Mugakamba, if you talk about but however, I think dialogue remains the most constructive way of addressing the problem. And what the Tobacco Commission have done, actually, in terms of engagement with stakeholders is a welcome move in terms of diffusing the tension.
The Commission says the ongoing engagements are aimed at addressing farmers' concerns and preventing any disruptions that could negatively impact the tobacco marketing season.
In case you are just joining us, remember you're watching News Bulletin coming to you from Luntha Television, and you're with me, Patrick Pupa. But before I proceed, top stories once again. Pope Leo XIV urges Catholics and the Anglicans to strengthen unity in proclaiming Christ. Human Rights Defenders Coalition HRDC Chairperson Michael Kayatsa defends HRDC leadership as ad hoc committee challenges authority in court. Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority MERA introduces police presence at filling stations to restore order during fuel shortages. In international news, Mali Defense Minister Sadio Kamara killed in suicide bombing amid nationwide wave of rebel attacks. And moving on with our news, the Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority MERA has directed that all fuel filling stations across the country must now operate with police officers on site. MERA spokesperson Fitina Konje told Luntha Television on Monday that the measures has been introduced to help maintain order amid the ongoing fuel shortage. Emmanuel Chocha with the details.
Konje explained that MERA is working closely with the Malawi Police Service to enforce compliance, maintain order, and discourage illegal activities such as unauthorized fuel storage in containers. She said the decision is intended to prevent unfair practices in fuel purchase and to ensure that all citizens have equal access during the current crisis.
Yes, it is true. Everyone is aware that we are facing a fuel supply challenge, but this is being worked on, and the industry is doing its very best to ensure that the situation stabilizes. But again, it is also true that other people take advantage of such situations. So there are others that buy fuel in bulk, and others are repeat buyers where they come, buy, then drain the fuel, then come again, while others...
Social commentator Lagembewe has welcomed the development, describing it as timely and necessary, saying police involvement would help to restore discipline at filling stations and promote fair distribution of the scarce resources.
the correct authority in enforcing law and order by way of placing, police officers to manage filling stations. You see, the police officers not only help to install peace, but
Over the past 2 weeks, motorists and other fuel users have been spending long hours in queues, often extended through the nights as they compete for limited supplies.
Authorities at Lilongwe City Council have expressed confidence of a timely completion of road projects following the signing of a memorandum of understanding with Malawi Defense Force (MDF). Speaking after the signing of the agreement in Lilongwe, the council's Director of Engineering, Julia Tsogolani, said the move will see the MDF constructing the Area 47-49 road and Bell Bridge across Lilongwe River. Costas Kamtemeni has more in this report.
According to Tsogolani, the agreement would allow the two projects moving quickly without going through lengthy rendering processes. He also expressed optimism that through the groundbreaking agreement, MDF would deliver quality work within a short time frame and at a reasonable cost.
To partner with MDF in construction and maintenance of our roads, it is going to shorten the process of procurement because we'll go without tendering, which means we can go on the ground as soon as possible.
On his part, Chief Executive Officer of Engineers Construction Company Limited under the Malawi Defense Force, Colonel James Matthews Aiden, boosted the agency's capacity to delivering quality work within a reasonable time frame.
On this MOU is on the technical part. So the design, the funding is from the council. For us, we'll be doing the donkey work on the ground.
The two projects are expected to use funds from government's fuel levy policy, with Roads Funds Administration committed to release about 15.5 billion kwacha. For Luntha News, this is Constance Kamtemin.
And finally, in international news, Mali's Defense Minister Sadio Camara has been killed in what reports describe as a suicide truck bombing targeting his residence near the capital Bamako, as the country faces a surge of coordinated attacks by jihadist militants and separatist groups. State television confirmed his death, saying he succumbed to injuries sustained during an attack on his home. We have a BBC report.
According to reports, the government also said the head of the military junta, General Asim Goita, was moved to a secure location after his residence was targeted in the violence. Officials say a vehicle packed with explosives was driven into the minister's residence by a suicide attacker. Camara is reported to have confronted the attackers and managed to neutralize some of them before being critically wounded. He later died in the hospital. The attack also led to the collapse of part of the building and damage to a nearby mosque where several worshippers were reportedly killed. At least 3 members of Camara's family are also said to have died. The coordinated assaults occurred across multiple locations including Kindo, Gao, Seville, and Mote, with both northern and central regions affected. Separatist fighters from the Azawad Liberation Front, FLA, who are seeking an independent Tuareg state in northern Mali, are reported to have focused on northern towns, while jihadist militants linked to Jamaat, Nasrat Islam, War Muslimin, JNIM, carried out simultaneously attacks in other areas. Security analysts have described the offensive as one of the most significant coordinated attacks in Mali in recent years. Crashes reportedly continued in Kindo, where separatist forces, government troops, and Russian personnel supporting Mali's military were engaged in fighting. The FLA has claimed it reached an agreement with Russian African Corps elements for their withdrawal from Kidal and declared control of the city, although Mali's military has not confirmed these claims.
End of our news bulletin right here on Luntha television, but before I go, top stories once again. Pope Leo XIV urges Catholics and the Anglicans to strengthen unity in proclaiming Christ. Human Rights Defenders Coalition HRDC chairperson Michael Kayatsa defends HRDC leadership as ad hoc committee challenges authority in court. Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority MERA introduces police presence at filling stations to restore order during fuel shortages. In international news, Mali Defense Minister Sadio Kamara killed in suicide bombing amid nationwide wave of rebel attacks. And thank you for staying with us. We appreciate your company, for watching our news. And this has been Patrick Pupa. And I wish you a lovely time. And keep watching Luntha.